I want to do a quick compare and contrast between a four LLC business line of credit lenders. And those are lenders that they actually can give you a EIN only, no personal guarantee, LLC business lines of credit. So I want to compare and contrast BlueVine, American Express, Fundbox, and Wells Fargo. Let's first, so here's a review I really want you to pay attention to. Let me first start with American Express Business Blueprint. Now, here is a very interesting lender because American Express a couple of years ago was not in this field, right? So they bought over Cabbage during the COVID pandemic, and they were actually to revamp the whole business model. So nowadays they have they rebranded the business as American Express Business Blueprint. It's a fantastic offer because you can get a business line of credit for your LLC with EIN only, no personal guarantee, from $2,000 to $250,000. Okay. Now for the EIN only, you need to apply for it in a specific way though. You can't just like, I want EIN only and Amex will give it to you. No, it doesn't happen that way. But the line of credit amounts are very generous. We love the fact that you have $2,000 all the way to $250,000. Fantastic. Minimum credit score is 640. Okay, and that's if you don't do the EIN only option, because you can do EIN only or with or social security number. Okay, if you want to use your FICO score, that's fine too. So what we love about this American Express business blueprint is that it's very flexible. Okay, they'll approve you real fast. Okay, I'm talking about $2,000 to $250,000 and repayment terms including 6, 12, or 18 months. That's just fantastic. And what we love here also is that it's of course it's backed by American Express and there is no prepayment penalty. Okay. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here, and I love to have this sort of conversation, this sort of compare and contrast, so you can have a clear idea of your next move when it comes to LLC business line of credit. Okay. Now, what we don't like when it comes to this product, what we don't like here is that there are monthly fees on unpaid balances. And in some cases, in some states in the nation, they do require personal guarantee. So usually like in about 43 states, they do not require personal guarantee. But there are a few states where we have heard that American Express is starting to actually request personal guarantee. Now, the thing is, you can actually bypass the personal guarantee request by having a solid business plan. Let's talk about BlueVine. So when you think about BlueVine, you have the same amount here, 6,000 to $250,000. So same thing. Amex is giving you $250,000 maximum. BlueVine is doing the same thing, and BlueVine is a little better with than Bank of America. Why am I saying Bank of America? I'm saying Amex. Okay, BlueVine is better than Amex because they've been in the business in this industry longer than Amex. Okay, and so BlueVine will take care of you in terms of minimum credit score. They want you to have 625. If you do decide to go without EIN, then you want to really apply with your personal credit score. You got to have a minimum of 625. What we love about BlueVine is that the flexibility. We love the flexibility. We love the efficiency. We love the fact that BlueVine will try to work with you. They will assign a line of credit advisor to you, to your LLC. So that's just fantastic. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about LLC, business line of credit, EIN only, no personal guarantee, and we are comparing and contrasting four players. Okay, we have American Express Business Blueprint, we have BlueVine, we have Fundbox, and we have Wells Fargo. So when you think about American Express, when you think about BlueVine, what we love here is that they will give you a line of credit that's very generous, $250,000. And they do have a low credit score requirement. However, they need to beef up their offer a little bit because right now they don't have a mobile app. They need to work on that. And there is, in some cases, a monthly revenue requirements. Okay, and there are 2 or 3 states where BlueVine is not available. They don't have a banking license to operate there. So those states are North and South Dakota, Puerto Rico, and U.S. territories. Okay, so if you happen to be in those geographies, you're not going to qualify for a BlueVine business line of credit for your LLC. One thing I also want to say here is that BlueVine, when it comes to your LLC, BlueVine is very lenient when it comes to the eligibility requirements. So if your LLC has been created for less than 6 months, BlueVine can still look at your application, not a problem. Just make sure that you have a business plan. Again, make sure that you have a way to to justify your business model. So BlueVine knows that, hey, listen, if you're getting a business line of credit from them, you have a plan on how to use the funds. Very important. The use of line proceeds is really, really important to justify. You need to articulate that. Let me quickly talk about Fundbox. So when we think about Fundbox, we want to think about a lender that's very good for short-term lines of credit. Okay, and here the amounts are a little lower, but they're still something. Okay, you have $100,000 to $150,000. Fantastic. And we love the fact that the APR starts at 4.66%. So this is really good. The minimum credit score here, if you do decide to actually go without EIN with your social security number, it will be 600. Okay. And so overall, we love Fundbox a lot because they actually are one of the few players in this industry to use artificial intelligence to actually to study, to evaluate borrowers' criteria, to evaluate borrowers in general. Okay, and so this AI sort of AI driven platform, this AI driven underwriting process is kind of cool because it actually it's sort of like levels the playing field for everybody. So it doesn't matter if you have a bad credit score, as long as you have a way to sort of offset that negative with let's say a higher income or through like something else that is positive, or like let's say a lot of cash or like positive net worth, you could qualify for a Fundbox business line of credit for your LLC. Okay, so this is totally possible. And so basically, again, Fundbox $1,000 to $150,000. We love the fact that they can actually fund you real quick, so if you can get your cash within 1 or 2 days. This is really good, and we love the fact that the Fundbox is really going to work with you to make sure that you have that you receive a decision within 3 minutes. Within 3 minutes. Think about it. So you have you have a soft pull process that is totally possible, not a problem. So overall, this is a great player. One thing I need to say here is that with Fundbox, you do have only short-term repayment terms that are available. Okay, I'm talking about 12 or 24 weeks. So Fundbox is a little sort of like scared about, like committing to you for a long term. I guess this is their business model. I respect that, but yeah, it's very important for you to know about it, so that if you want to go with Fundbox, you're not gonna get your LLC business line of credit. You're not going to have like an annual sort of annual transaction arrangement, like annually renewable. They're not going to renew your line of credit every year. They will be looking at your credit every 3 months to every 6 months, every 3 to 6 months, to see if you still qualify. I want to talk to you now about Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo is another player when we talk about LLC, business line of credit, EIN only, no personal guarantee. So what do we like about Wells Fargo? We love the fact that Wells Fargo is a national bank. It is a national banking behemoth. They are available in all 50 states, so this is really good. So if you decide to go with Wells Fargo right off the bat, you know that your LLC is actually rolling with a great bank, with a national bank. Okay, but they're not as generous as the other three players though, because Wells Fargo will give you like the maximum you can get from Wells Fargo is $100,000. So $5,000 to $100,000. Okay, but hey, listen, it is still something. So we love that a lot. And so in terms of interest rate, you're looking at the 9% minimum. Okay, and so overall, Wells Fargo is great when it comes to your LLC, business line of credit, EIN only, no personal guarantee, in terms of being a traditional lender. Okay, traditional lender means what? Traditional lender means that it means that Wells Fargo is slow to approve you, but when they do approve you, you know that you have an entire bank that is behind you for many years. They will support you. They will look at your activities. They might even assign to you a loan rep, a business loan rep, or a business account rep, who will actually advise you as to what the bank is offering in terms of business financing, and maybe you can actually qualify for other products, even though you don't qualify for a business line of credit. Their possibilities are still there. Okay, so one thing I want to say here is that, by the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. I mean, I love to do this every now and then because I want to contextualize the conversations we're having today. I'm doing a compare and contrast between four lenders when it comes to LLC, business lines of credit, EIN only, no personal guarantee. So I'm comparing American Express Blueprint, Business Blueprint, BlueVine, Fundbox, and now Wells Fargo. So when we talk about Wells Fargo, what we love here is that no collateral is required, low interest rates are available. Okay, this is really good. There are awesome rewards available if you qualify. And so the thing that we don't like about Wells Fargo here is that there's an annual fee after the first year, and they do require at least 2 years in business to qualify for their business line of credit. So you got to, your LLC has to be operationally existent, operationally active for at least 2 years before you actually apply. So here you have it. Before I actually do the compare and contrast between and give you the final results, it's really important to understand that if you have to compare a business line of credit, you need to have some pointers, okay? Because the whole thing is that all those business line of credit lenders, they do have criteria, they do have assessment tools, they do have strategies when it comes to underwriting. The question is, how do you actually fight back? It's not about fighting, but it's about understanding the tools that they have, so you too can also play the role, play the game properly. Okay, let's have a conversation about that. So what you want to do here is that you want to always, whether you are going with the American Express Business Blueprint or you want to go to BlueVine, go to Fundbox or Wells Fargo, try to pre-qualify whatever possible. Try to pre-qualify because you want to preserve your personal credit score. And even if you're applying with EIN only, no personal guarantee, you still want to make sure that you are preserving your personal or business credit score. Okay, and it's really important to always analyze the line of credit in its entirety. Don't just look at one point and say, you know what, I think I'm not comfortable with this part because they're just giving me 25 grand or 50 grand. I asked for 100 grand. No, you want to study the whole proposition. If they approve you, you want to study the whole proposition, it in its entirety. That way you have a clear idea where you are setting what you're putting yourself into. And you also want to look for those additional sneaky fees. I mean, you have Amex, Blueprint, you have BlueVine, you have Fundbox, you have Wells Fargo. Sometimes they might be tempted to charge you like extra fees, whatever, and you definitely want to make sure that you are on the lookout for that, so that you don't pay extra. Okay, and also make sure that you are comfortable with the customer support. I mean, we all know that Wells Fargo, like those four, Wells Fargo, BlueVine, Fundbox, and Amex. BlueVine is the one that doesn't have a full-fledged support service. Like, they don't have that. So you're going to have to ask yourself whether you're comfortable with the way BlueVine is set up. I mean, BlueVine is an online lender. BlueVine is a fintech. BlueVine is not going to have a brick and mortar. Like they're not going to have a network of brick and mortar branches to sort of cater to your needs. It's not going to happen. So, let me really talk to you a little bit about the approach you need to follow if you are trying to, to choose a business line of credit, whether you're going to a traditional bank such as Wells Fargo, or you're going to an alternative lender such as, BlueVine, for example, or Fundbox. Okay, it's important to understand that there are 5 things that I really want you to pay attention to, and only 5. Nothing complicated here. Only 5. So eligibility requirements, line of credit amount, how much are they willing to give you? The funding speed, are you going to wait around for forever, or they will take care of you real quick? Okay, and the repayment terms and the fees that you really need to pay attention to. So those are really important elements here in terms of making sure you get the loan amounts, you get the line of credit amount real fast. Okay, so when we talk about eligibility requirements, just make sure that when those are pretty straightforward. Just ask the lender, what are your eligibility requirements? Nothing. Don't try to really to guess. No, just ask them. You want to call, or if you are able to go to a branch, and ask the rep there, what are the eligibility requirements? Okay. And one thing I want to say here is that when we talk about the line of credit amount, be sure, again, that line of credit that you are requesting is in sync with your operational needs. Because, I mean, if you are a wash in cash, if your LLC is a wash in cash, why are you asking for a line of credit amount in the first place? Maybe you don't want to use your own cash. Okay, this could be a possibility, but is it really worth it? Okay, think about how fast the whole thing will be funded, the funding speed. Because if you need the cash real quick and you just like submit all your paperwork, and then now you have to wait forever and ever and ever, this is not really interesting. So you got to ask yourself, how long are you willing to wait? And think also about the repayment terms. Okay, what are the like once, because see, once your draw period ends, a lender, whether it is American Express Blueprint, Business Blueprint, or BlueVine, or Fundbox, or Wells Fargo, they are, they will likely require you to repay the amount you borrowed on a monthly basis. Okay, and I mean, the what you need to really understand here is that the amount of time you have to repay what you borrow, which is called the repayment term, varies. So pick a lender that offers a repayment term that best suits your needs. All right, so now let's just quickly talk about, let's have the pick here. So Amex versus BlueVine versus Fundbox versus Wells Fargo. Which one should you go after? Let's have a conversation about that, right? So big question, big question. The thing here is that when you talk about choosing a business line of credit for your LLC, you first have to ask yourself, is my LLC profitable? This is an important element, boss. I want you to think that way. Is your LLC profitable? And by profit, I mean consistently profitable. I'm not saying like, this month you actually had negative and next month you had positive, and the month after you have something totally different. No, you have to be consistently making money. Are you in that situation? Is your LLC in that situation? If it is, if it is, you are really good to go, because you know that, okay, no matter what, money will be coming in, so you can actually set your strategies to actually having some kind of cushion cash. And this is what a business line of credit gives you, a cushion cash. Okay, and so you are able to know exactly how much you need and how much you can spend, and you want to review your credit. Okay, now if you apply with EIN only, you don't need to review your personal credit, but then you need to have a business plan. Oh yeah. Okay. So one thing I want to say here is that you have the situation where you are basically reviewing your credit and saying, listen, I think I should qualify for this loan, or or I think I have to qualify for something else. Okay, no matter what, make sure that you are able to research and compare lenders to make sure you're getting the best loan offer, or the best line of credit offer anyway. Okay, and then gather the required documents that are asking you. Okay, in all those four that we just evaluated today, the easiest, like the one with the easiest, I would say the easiest underwriting process is BlueVine, and then you have Fundbox, because those banks, like the biggies such as Wells Fargo and American Express, they have a very lengthy application process. Okay, so if this is an important element for you, then okay, and then so once you have done everything, you could just submit the loan application or the line of credit application for your LLC, and you just have to wait. So the wait game has to start right afterwards. You just have to wait. There's nothing you can do about it. Just have to wait and hope that you get picked. Okay. And one thing I also need to say here is that you have to constantly think about what your current cash situation is versus what your cash situation will be once you get the LLC business line of credit for your LLC. Okay. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I want to quickly give you the winner here. So we have compared and contrasted 4 lenders when it comes to LLC, business line of credit, EIN only, no personal guarantee. And our winner is American Express Business Blueprint. So American Express Business Blueprint, we have actually scored this lender 9.8 over 10, and BlueVine 9.6 over 10, Wells Fargo 9.3 over 10, and Fundbox 9 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.